I recently visited Charleston, South Carolina. We've all heard about the charming little town in South Carolina, but it takes visiting to realize what all the fuss is about. Charleston has been named the #1 small town in America for the past 10 years, and now I see why. Check out the recognition here in Travel and Leisure. This is the first of a series of travel guides on Charleston. Let's start with food, more specifically, oysters. There is no shortage of amazing seafood in Charleston. From TripAdvisor, Yelp to Eater, there are numerous lists published on where to get the best seafood. But during my visit, I wanted to find the best raw oysters at hopefully a price that was somewhat digestible, no pun intended. I grew up hearing that it was unwise to eat oysters during months without an R. This is a hard rule to shake, but that was before the advancement of oyster farming. The R months are colder months and would allow the oysters to stay cold versus vary in temperature when exposed during low tide or hotter temperatures. But with farming, all bets are off. And I should say, with oysters coming in from all over the country, surely Canada has less to worry about with warmer temperatures. Read this article if you're interested in sustainable oyster farming and how it works. Okay, let's move on to where to eat oysters in Charleston. After several visits to local haunts, I've decided there are a few places that should be on your list. First is Leon's. I like the vibe there and always manage to strike up a conversation with a local or visitor while there. The oysters are outstanding, always cold, small and briny like I like. They also have these table fly fans, check out the photo in the feed, that keeps the bugs away. And if you know South Carolina, you know that's important. Second is 167 Raw. I first visited this spot when visiting Charleston for the very first time. It's small and has a hustling energy that fits, when sitting down with oysters and beer or bubbly. The former being my favorite. Here's my recommendation. Get a dozen oysters or two, sit at the bar, and forget about all your worries. Trust me, after a few oysters and drinks, the only concern you'll have is how to make room for more. My third choice is Rappahannock. I like the impressive copper bar and the coziness. The location is convenient and there's parking. Started in D.C. and now migrated down to Charleston, this oyster bar has quite the selection, plus a seafood market to take some things home. It feels authentic and not touristy, which is a fine line to walk with seafood restaurants. Make a reservation here on the patio on an early fall evening. You will thank me later. Okay, next guide will dig into the best breweries if you want to act like a local. Follow me on Twitter to get updates, linked here, when the next city guide is released.